I think another quality week of work. I think our players understand the task at hand against Arkansas. This is going to be an intense physical football game. It'll be in an SEC environment, which will be hostile. It'll be loud. We need to make sure our poise and composure is right. This is an SEC roster. It's big. It's physical. They believe in running the ball. They're flying around fast, physical defense, and we need to make sure that we match or exceed that intensity and that physicality. And that's going to be the key to the drill Saturday night.
Thanks, Coach. Brian, go ahead and start us off.
Yeah, Coach, I just had two relatively easy ones. Number one, do you think Alfred Collins will get a little more run this week? And what'd you think of him in the opener? And number two, why did you decide to start practicing in the mornings? That's a switch for these guys.
Sorry. Let me go back to the first one. Okay, so Alfred, I think with every guy on our team, you earn your opportunities on the field. And I think Alfred's close. We obviously know he's a talented player. I think he's in position to earn more playing time this week, and look forward to watching him play at an even higher level. The morning practice, I just believe it's more efficient for us as a staff. I think it's more efficient for the players. They can get up, they can practice, and then they're already up and they're going to class. That's just been what I've done throughout my career as a head coach.
Chuck, go ahead.
Yeah, Steve, you just made a reference to the fact that Arkansas has an SEC roster. Just from your time in that league, is there a difference between SEC teams and the way they're built in general, as opposed to other conferences? And what is that?
I think there's a lot of big human beings in the SEC. I think they're big up front on both sides of the ball. Clearly, the tight ends have great size. I think they have really good length at corner. They've got a couple big receivers. I just think in general, it's a big man's league, and there's a style of football in that league that is a physical brand that when you cross over to play them, you have to be ready to play that style of football, or you get your ass knocked off. That's the way it goes. So you've got to come in prepared to play a physical brand of football, which is exactly how Arkansas plays. They believe in running the ball. They believe in stopping the run, and they built a roster to do that. Even with the transfers up front on the defensive line, you can see their impact that they had last week against Rice.
Kirk, go ahead.
Yeah, Steve, I was curious. There's going to be so much intensity in this game, the fact that it's first sellout in 4 years and all. In your experience, how long does that intensity last and that emotion? Do you feel like that wears off pretty fast?
Well, I think it lasts, quite frankly, as long as you allow it to last. I think that one of the keys when you go into these type of environments is to I think poise and composure are two big ingredients when you go on the road in these types of environment. And that doesn't discount. I think we need to play with emotion in this game. I think that's important as well. But there's a fine line. We don't want to play emotional because I think when you start to play emotional, that's when you start to you play a little bit of an undisciplined brand of football, whether it's a late hit or doing things out of character. So we want to make sure our emotion level is right, but that we have good poise and composure in this environment. And, I think that level of intensity in the arena, quite frankly, lasts as long as we allow it to last. I think, it could be an opening kickoff thing. It could be a series or two, but at some point we're going to have to, get our focus on where it needs to be. And that's the next play, and giving the next play the credit it deserves, and doing our jobs at a really high level.
Dennis, you're up.
Coach, you sounded pleased with the workouts this week. Did you ever, considering the week one success, did you ever have to get your guys' attention, or have they handled it really maturely?
I think I got their attention Monday morning when we met. And I think I got their attention again today when we finished practice, when we called them up. I think that's my job as a head coach, is to make sure that we're in the right frame of mind going into a ball game. And I think we've got good leadership on this team, and they really try to follow our lead, which is important as us as coaches. So I think we'll have the right intent going into the game. Ultimately, like we talked about, the things that are going to be necessary to win and to play well and put ourselves in position in the fourth quarter to go get a victory is what's going to be key in game. But I think our mindset and our intent will be in a good place come 6 o'clock Saturday.
Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Sark was just checking for if you had an update on Junior Anguilao and Jared Wiley, and also if there's any update on Troy O'Meary's progress coming back from that knee.
Yeah, Troy, I'll go backwards for you. Troy is rehabbing. He's running. He looks good. Hopefully we get him back sooner rather than later, but we definitely want to make sure that he's in the right space physically to do so. But he was back going this week that way. Jared Wiley really would probably be a game time type decision. And then Junior's good to go. So feel good about that.
Roger, you're up.
Coach, you mentioned big dudes. Their quarterback's a big, thick guy. What problems does he pose for your defense?
Well, I think it's really twofold. One, like I said, they're a run first team. And so you've got all the zone read, if you want to call it, options that he presents as far as, when he can pull it down and run. And then it's not, he, as big as he is, he's a good athlete. He's a very good athlete. I think last week he had about a 70-yard touchdown run that got called back. He ran away from everybody, but we've got to tackle him really well. That's going to be a huge component to it. And then the second fold of that is when they call pass plays and then the pass play doesn't develop the way he likes, and then he tucks it and runs in those scenarios too. So there's two ways that he can hurt you with his legs. And one is the called runs. The other is the pass plays. And then there's the, improvising runs. So, but at the end of the day, it's, we've got to tackle really well. We got to play with good leverage and try to minimize him really getting to the second level. So got to do a good job up front, trying to control the line of scrimmage. We got to do a good job with our pass rush lanes and the integrity of those to try to keep him in the pocket and not give him those running lanes when pass plays break down.
Anwar, you're up.
Hey, Coach, since you do have a little bit of a later game, what will be your game plan as far as Saturday itself? Will you guys do any kind of walkthrough? Will you let guys just hang at a hotel? I'm just kind of curious, how will they spend those hours leading up to Saturday night?
Our normal build up, we'll meet and walk through and have a pregame meal and get on the bus.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Steve, just wanted to ask about Hudson. As you've said before, he seems like he's usually a pretty even keel guy in terms of his demeanor. Just wondering if you sensed any sort of shift in his maybe confidence or composure after getting that first start under his belt and, performing pretty well.
I don't think you notice it necessarily with the naked eye. I don't think that he's, walking around like he's big man on campus. That's just not in his demeanor, But I'm sure internally that had to feel pretty good for him, to go out and perform and play and, not turn the ball over, be efficient on third down, being efficient in the red zone, extending some plays with his legs, having the touchdown run, all those things I'm sure built confidence, but hopefully it also instilled in him, my preparation paid off. And so that another good week of preparation, and then getting himself back to the right frame of mind going into this game of being focused on the task at hand and being calm and poised and of good composure, not only is helpful for him, I think it's helpful for the entire team.
Time for a couple last quick ones. Danny, go ahead.
Steve, first quick one. Are both quarterbacks going to play on Saturday? And then secondly, how would you assess your running backs, especially Bijan and Roshan, as route runners and pass catchers?
Yeah. The plan is to play Casey as well again here Saturday night. Again, there's not an exact timetable or series that'll happen. There's going to be a little bit of a feel, which we're pretty comfortable doing. I like our running back room, and obviously we saw the benefit of Bijan out of the backfield or even split out catching the ball last week. I think Roshan had a couple nice plays catching the ball, and Keelan Robinson's another guy. So That's one of the things that we like about that position, that not only our current roster, but what we recruit to is versatile backs. You know, our running backs are not one dimensional in this system. They're inside runners, they're outside runners. They pass protect, they run routes from the backfield, they run routes from split out. So we ask a lot of that position, but we're fortunate to have, you know, 4 guys really with Jonathan Brooks that have the capability to do the things necessary in the system to be successful.
One last quick one, Ed, go ahead.
Coach, we know that Arkansas hates Texas. First time Texas has played in Arkansas in a long time. What was your toughest environment as a quarterback or as a coach? What's the toughest environment you've had to face as a player or coach in on a road game?
You know, as a player, we went to the University of Washington and I got sacked 8 times. So that felt pretty tough for me. You know, I don't know, LSU at night, that's a pretty good environment, pretty tough environment. But hey, anytime you get a night game and 2 quality opponents and you get a sold out crowd, you know, I don't know at what point is it tough enough? You know, they're all tough at that point. And you know, this one's going to be another one, but that's okay. You know, that's why we play the game. And I think what's important is you know, Arkansas's hate, as you refer to it, for the University of Texas isn't going to make us play any better or make us play any harder, right? Or make us prepare any better. Like, we need to control what we can control, and we need to focus on what we need to focus on. And then when we need to execute our jobs, you know, down after down after down, that's really the winning formula of this thing, not trying to rise to the emotion of the stadium. And so that's going to be really important for us come 6 o'clock Saturday.